My wife screamed the baby right before the BMW slammed into her door. I was turning left at Maple and 3rd Street, green arrow, clear as day. I'd made this turn 100 times coming back from the grocery store. Rachel had her hand on her belly, 32 weeks pregnant, complaining about the ice cream melting in the back seat. Then I saw the black BMW flying through the intersection. No braking, nothing. The sound was wrong, not like movies. Metal folding into metal, glass exploding inward, Rachel's scream cutting off mid-breath. The BMW hit her door at 50 miles an hour, maybe more, crushing it inward like aluminum foil. Rachel's head snapped sideways. Blood ran down from a gash above her eyebrow. She grabbed her stomach with both hands. The baby! Oh God, the baby! I couldn't open my door. The frame was bent. Climbed over the center console, squeezed out her side through broken glass. The BMW sat 20 feet away, engine still running. Kid stumbled out. 19, maybe 20. Red eyes walking like the ground was moving under him. You okay? He called out. Not running over, not checking on Rachel, just standing there, swaying slightly. Call 911, I screamed. My wife's pregnant. He pulled out his phone but didn't dial 911. Hi, Uncle Ray, he said. There's been an incident at Maple Street. Rachel moaned. Fluid leaked from between her legs onto the car seat. Mark, something's wrong. Mrs. Chen from the retired teacher's home ran over. Tom Rodriguez left his plumbing van in the middle of the street, hazards blinking. Ashley Miller came out of First National Bank, still in her teller uniform. They all saw it. They saw everything. 18 minutes for the cops. 18 minutes of Rachel crying, me holding her hand through the broken window, begging her to stay awake. The kid, Brandon, I heard him say into the phone, sat on the curb texting. Officer Daniels arrived first, took one look at Brandon, then his phone rang. He walked away, nodding. Yes, sir. I understand. Yes, sir. The paramedics loaded Rachel into the ambulance. I'm riding with her, I said. Sir, you need to stay for the report, Daniels said. My wife is bleeding. 5 minutes. Daniels didn't breathalyze Brandon. Didn't even ask if he'd been drinking. Just wrote in his notepad while Brandon explained how I'd turned left, out of nowhere. That's not what happened, I said. I had the green arrow. Light was yellow when I checked, Brandon said. Bullshit. Ask them. I pointed at Mrs. Chen, Tom, Ashley. They gave their contact information to Daniels. He wrote it down without looking at them. Sign here, Daniels said, shoving a paper at me. What is this? Preliminary report, failure to yield while turning. I'm not signing that. Then we'll sort it out later. Your wife's waiting. I ran to my car, hands shaking. At the hospital, they'd already taken Rachel to surgery. Emergency C-section. The nurse's face told me everything before she said it. Your daughter's in distress. 3 pounds, 8 ounces. She needs intensive care immediately. Harper came out purple. Didn't cry. They rushed her past me to NICU, tubes already going down her throat. Rachel was unconscious, still in surgery. Officer Daniels appeared with his final report. Need your signature. You wrote that I caused this? Evidence indicates failure to yield. 3 people saw him run the light. That's not what the evidence shows. I wanted to grab him, shake him, make him tell the truth, but Harper needed me. Rachel needed me. I signed the damn paper. The NICU nurse setting up Harper's feeding tube glanced at Daniels walking away. She whispered, Brandon Walker? How did you know? Judge Walker's nephew. This is his 3rd this year. What? You didn't know? Judge Raymond Walker. Runs the county court. Brandon's had accidents before. Never gets charged. She adjusted Harper's oxygen. Your insurance is going to blame you. They always do when the Walkers are involved. My phone buzzed. Safeguard Insurance. Mr. Thompson? According to the police report, you're at fault. We won't be covering the other driver's vehicle damage. I sat in that NICU, watching my 3-pound daughter fight to breathe, Googling Brandon Walker on my phone. 2 police blotters. 2021, 2023. No charges filed. His Instagram was public. Party photos, red Solo cups, on a boat labeled Uncle Ray's Paradise. The first hospital bill arrived by email while I was sitting there. $8,500, just for the emergency delivery. That's when I realized I wasn't just fighting Brandon, I was fighting the entire Walker family. I started calling lawyers the day after the accident. Harper was still on a ventilator. Rachel hadn't woken up yet from surgery. First lawyer, Henderson and Associates. I need help with an auto accident case. Who's the other party? Brandon Walker. Click. Second lawyer, Thompson Legal, same thing. Judge Walker's nephew? We can't help you. Third lawyer actually laughed. You're suing the Walkers? Good luck with that. Fourth one was honest at least. Look, Mr. Thompson, I practice in this county. Judge Walker signs my mortgage, if you know what I mean. The fifth lawyer, Jim Harrison, had an office above a Chinese restaurant. Crooked diploma on the wall, coffee stains on his desk. He listened to my whole story, looked at the police report, the hospital photos of Rachel's injuries. I'll take it, he said, but you need to know what you're up against. I don't care. My daughter might have permanent lung damage. It's $2,500 retainer, cash or certified check. I drove straight to the bank, took a loan against my 401k, 14% interest, but I'd have the money in 3 days, signed papers that would haunt me for the next decade, handed Harrison the check that Friday. Those witnesses will be crucial, Harrison said, photocopying their contact info. I'll depose them next week. He called me the following Tuesday. Listen, Mark, I've had a family emergency. My mother's sick. I need to withdraw from your case. Your mother? Are you serious? I'll refund the retainer. Minus the 5 hours I've already billed. 5 hours? You've done nothing. Administrative work, filing fees, research. That night I couldn't sleep. Went through Harrison's Facebook. Professional pages are always public. Found his firm's 4th of July photos from last year. There he was, Jim Harrison, at the Walker family barbecue. Big smile, beer in hand, standing next to Judge Raymond Walker himself. Started calling the witnesses that weekend. Mrs. Chen answered on the 3rd ring. Mrs. Chen, it's Mark Thompson. From the accident at Maple and 3rd? Long pause. Oh yes, how's your wife? She's recovering. Listen, I need you to confirm what you saw. The BMW ran the red light, right? Well, I saw something, but I'm not sure about the details anymore. My memory isn't what it used to be. Mrs. Chen, you were 10 feet away, you ran over immediately. These old eyes play tricks sometimes. I really can't be certain about the light. Tom Rodriguez was next. Met me at a Starbucks, kept checking his phone. Look man, he said before I even started. I got 3 kids, mortgage. My plumbing business barely breaks even. I can't afford to get involved in this. Tom, you saw what happened. I saw an accident. Lights change fast at that intersection. That's not what you told Officer Daniels. I told him I wasn't sure. Maybe you misunderstood. You're scared of the walkers. He stood up. I'm not scared. I'm practical. You should be too. These people own half the county. Ashley Miller wouldn't answer her phone. 12 calls over 3 days. Finally got a text at midnight. My manager at First National said it's best if I don't get involved. The Walkers are big clients. I'm sorry about your wife. By Thursday, I was at the courthouse, filing paperwork to represent myself. The clerk, an older woman with thick glasses, looked at my forms. Pro se? She asked. You're representing yourself? Can't find a lawyer. She looked at the defendant's name. Her face changed. You really should get a lawyer for something like this. Nobody will take the case. She stamped my papers slowly. Mr. Thompson, I've worked here 22 years. Some cases need lawyers. Are you trying to tell me something? She handed back my papers. I'm telling you that the law is complicated. Procedure matters. One wrong filing and your case gets dismissed. Then help me file it right. I can't give legal advice. That's against regulations. She glanced around, then leaned closer. But there's a legal aid clinic. Thursdays at the library. Sometimes law students help with forms. I went that Thursday. 2 law students, maybe 23 years old. They looked at my case like it was radioactive. We can help with forms, one said, but we can't appear in court with you. Why not? They exchanged glances. We're not allowed to take cases involving certain prominent families. School policy. I was completely alone. 3 witnesses who wouldn't talk. No lawyer. A daughter who needed round-the-clock care, and the Walker family machine grinding forward, ready to bury us. The demand letter arrived Monday morning. Whitman and Associates, the most expensive law firm in the county. Gold-embossed letterhead. Our client, Mr. Brandon Walker, suffered severe neck trauma and emotional distress from your negligent operation of a motor vehicle. Medical documentation confirms soft tissue damage requiring ongoing treatment. Vehicle repairs total $8,300. We demand $15,000 to avoid costly litigation. $15,000. Harper's oxygen monitor beeped in the background. Rachel was changing her feeding tube, hands shaking from exhaustion. My phone rang. Principal Martinez. Mark, we need to talk. Can you come in? I'm at the hospital. My daughter. This is important. I drove to school during Rachel's shift with Harper. Martinez closed his office door, wouldn't make eye contact. Some parents have expressed concerns, he said. About what? The lawsuit. The Walkers are prominent in our community. Several board members have children in your classes. Are you serious? Maybe you should take some personal time. Until this resolves. Personal time? I need this job. We have medical bills. It's not a request, Mark. Effective immediately. Unpaid leave. We'll revisit after the legal situation clarifies. Unpaid leave, no paycheck, no insurance continuation. I sat in my car in the school parking lot. Credit card statement spread across the dashboard. Capital One, maxed at $4,800. Chase, maxed at $3,700. Discover, maxed at $3,500. $12,000 total. NICU costs, specialized formula Harper needed, respiratory specialists, follow-up surgeries. Rachel couldn't work. C-section recovery meant no lifting for 8 weeks. Harper needed monitoring every 2 hours. One of us had to be awake constantly, watching her oxygen levels, adjusting her feeding tube. I was drowning. No income, no witnesses, no lawyer. Wednesday afternoon, I was in the NICU parent lounge, trying to figure out which bills to skip when someone sat down next to me. Mr. Thompson? I looked up. The paramedic from the accident. Josh, something. I'm here visiting my sister. She had her baby yesterday. He glanced around, lowered his voice. Off the record, Brandon reeked of alcohol, vodka probably. Could smell it from 3 feet away. Will you testify? Can't. My captain already told me to forget what I saw. Direct order. He can't do that. He can, and he did. But listen, check the Marathon gas station at 2nd Street. They have exterior cameras. Might have caught him driving before the accident. I drove there straight from the hospital. The manager, a kid maybe 19, pulled up their system. Our cameras only keep footage for 7 days, he said. It's been 3 weeks. You don't archive anything? Company policy. Storage is expensive, another dead end. I filed a discovery request with the court anyway, asking for any additional evidence. The response came back in 2 days, no additional evidence available. I spent that night going through every page of Brandon's social media. His Instagram stories from that Saturday were gone, but his friend Tyler had posted photos. Brandon in the background at a pool party, noon, red Solo cup in hand, 3 hours before he crashed into us. Screenshots, saved everything, but photos of him holding a cup weren't proof of intoxication. Any lawyer would destroy that in seconds. Thursday night, I sat with Rachel in the NICU. Harper had been off the ventilator for 2 days, but still needed oxygen. Her tiny chest worked so hard for each breath. What are we going to do? Rachel asked. I don't know. They're going to win, aren't they? They're going to hurt us and get away with it. I couldn't answer. The Walkers owned this town. The judges, the police, probably half the jury pool. We had no money, no witnesses, no evidence. My phone buzzed. Email from the court clerk. Pre-trial hearing scheduled. Friday, 9 a.m., tomorrow. The hearing was tomorrow. I had 36 hours to figure out how to represent myself against Whitman and Associates. No legal training, no witnesses, no evidence except my word that I had a green arrow when Brandon Walker destroyed my family. Rachel squeezed my hand. Maybe we should just give up. Take whatever they offer. They're not offering anything. They want $15,000 from us. Harper's monitor beeped. Her oxygen dropped again. The nurse rushed over, adjusted her tubes, got her stable. I looked at my 3-pound daughter fighting for every breath, while Brandon Walker was probably at another party, another red Solo cup, another night of zero consequences. The pre-trial hearing was in 2 days, and I had nothing but my word against a judge's nephew. Friday morning, 9 a.m., courtroom 3. I sat alone at the defendant's table with a yellow legal pad and printouts from Google on how to represent yourself in court. Brandon Walker sat across from me with 2 lawyers from Whitman and Associates. Navy suit, fresh haircut, looking like a college freshman heading to church. Judge Patricia Morris entered. I'd Googled her the night before. Regular golf partner of Judge Raymond Walker. Photos from last year's country club fundraiser, the 2 of them laughing over drinks. Motion to dismiss? She asked, already looking bored. I stood up. Your Honor, the police report is clearly falsified. I had a green arrow. Mr. Thompson, do you have evidence the report is falsified? 3 witnesses saw. Are these witnesses here today? No, but... Motion denied. Anything else? 3 minutes. That's all my motion got. Brandon's lawyer stood up. Your Honor, my client would like to make a statement about the trauma he's endured. Brandon walked to the witness stand, shoulders slightly hunched, voice soft. This accident has destroyed my life. I can't sleep. I see that intersection every time I close my eyes. His lawyer nodded sympathetically. Tell the court about your treatment. I'm seeing Dr. Patterson twice a week for PTSD. The emotional trauma of being falsely accused when Mr. Thompson ran that light. I stood up. Objection. He's not under oath. This is a preliminary hearing, Mr. Thompson, Judge Morris said. Sit down. Brandon continued for 10 minutes. The nightmares, the anxiety, how he couldn't drive anymore without panic attacks. Cross-examine, Judge Morris asked me, like she was offering me rope to hang myself. I stood up. Mr. Walker, do you have a valid driver's license? Objection. His lawyer shot up. Irrelevant to the collision. Sustained. Your Honor, if he didn't have a license. I said sustained. Move on. Deep breath. Mr. Walker, were you drinking that day? Objection. No foundation. Sustained. Mr. Thompson, stick to the facts of the collision. The fact is he was drunk. Mr. Thompson, Judge Morris leaned forward. One more outburst and you'll be held in contempt. I sat down. Brandon smirked, just slightly, just for me. The hearing ended in 40 minutes. Next date set for 3 weeks. Brandon and his lawyers left laughing. That afternoon, I went to the county courthouse records room. If Brandon had done this before, there had to be a paper trail. The clerk, a young guy named Dave, brought me boxes of traffic incident reports. What years you looking for? 2019 to now. That's a lot of files. I've got time. 4 hours of searching, then I found it. November 2021, Maria Gonzalez versus Brandon Walker. T-bone collision at 5th and Main. Charges filed, reckless driving, driving without a license. Then a second document, charges dropped, civil settlement, amount undisclosed. Next box, August 2023, Derek Thompson versus Brandon Walker. Head-on collision on Route 9. Charges filed, DUI, vehicular assault. Again, charges dropped, civil settlement. I took photos of everything with my phone, searched Facebook that night, found Maria Gonzalez, sent her a message explaining my situation. Her response came at midnight. Can't talk about it. Legal reasons. Please, he almost killed my wife and daughter. I'm sorry. I signed papers. I can't. Derek Thompson was easier to find. Worked at a body shop 2 towns over. I drove there Saturday morning. Derek Thompson? He looked up from under a Honda's hood. Who's asking? Mark Thompson. No relation. Brandon Walker hit my pregnant wife. His face changed. Let me guess. You're at fault according to the cops? How did you know? Same thing happened to me. Kid was drunk as hell, crossed the center line, hit me head on. He showed me a scar running down his forearm. Broke my arm in 3 places. Will you testify? He laughed bitterly. Can't. Signed an NDA for $8,000. Needed the money for my kid's medical bills. If I talk, I have to pay it back plus penalties. $8,000 for a broken arm and totaled car? It was that or nothing. Couldn't afford a lawyer to fight the walkers. I spent the rest of the weekend filing requests. FOIA request for police dash cam footage from all 3 accidents. DMV records request for Brandon's license history. Insurance claims history. The responses came back within days. Dash cam footage. No responsive records found. DMV records. Privacy protection. Records sealed. Insurance claims. Information only available to policyholder. Every door slammed shut. Every avenue blocked. But I had the case numbers now. The names. The pattern. 3 accidents in 4 years. Always Brandon's fault. Always covered up. Always paid off. The pre-trial was in 2 days, and I had nothing but my word against a judge's nephew. But now I knew I wasn't the first, and I probably wouldn't be the last. That Sunday night, I posted in the Maple County Community Facebook group. Simple message. Looking for anyone who witnessed the accident at Maple/3rd on Saturday the 15th at 2:15 p.m. Black BMW hit silver Accord. My pregnant wife was injured. Within an hour, 47 reactions, 12 comments. Most were prayers and heart emojis, but 3 people said they'd heard about it. One comment stood out. The walkers strike again. My phone buzzed. Private message from Sarah Kim. I'm a local blogger. I've heard stories about the walkers. Can we meet? Monday morning, Main Street Coffee. Sarah was maybe 30, notebook already open when I arrived. 6 people, she said, sliding a list across the table. 6 people in the last 5 years who've had run-ins with the Walker family. Accidents, property disputes, employment issues. Will any of them talk? That's the problem. Nobody wants to go on record. This town is too small. Judge Walker signs off on everything from custody hearings to business permits. She showed me her notes. A contractor who lost his license after refusing to fix Judge Walker's roof for free. A nurse fired after reporting Brandon's friend for stealing medication. A teacher transferred after failing Judge Walker's daughter. I tried writing about this last year, Sarah said. My hosting company got a cease and desist letter, had to pull everything. So they just keep getting away with it. Pretty much. Although, she leaned closer. People are getting tired of it. Your post got more engagement than anything I've seen in months. I checked Facebook on my phone. My post was gone. What the hell? Notification. Your post violated community standards for harassment and bullying. I didn't harass anyone. I asked for witnesses. Sarah wasn't surprised. The Walkers have connections everywhere. The group admin's husband works at the courthouse. That afternoon, an email from the school district. Mr. Thompson, your social media activity has come to our attention. Please report to the superintendent's office Tuesday at 9 a.m. to discuss appropriate use of online platforms while on administrative leave. Tuesday night was the monthly PTA meeting. I wasn't supposed to be there. Administrative leave meant no school activities, but this was a public meeting. I sat in the back row. Usually 20 people showed up. Tonight, there were 45. Word had spread. Principal Martinez ran through the agenda. Fundraiser updates, new playground equipment, spring carnival planning. Then came open forum. I stood up. Martinez's face went pale. I know I'm not supposed to be here, I said, but parents deserve to know what's happening in this community. I pulled out printouts. Public court records, Brandon's previous accidents, the hospital bills. My 3-pound daughter is in the NICU because Brandon Walker drove drunk through a red light. This is his 3rd accident. Each time, witnesses disappear. Police reports get changed. Families get threatened. Mr. Thompson, this isn't the appropriate forum. When is the appropriate forum? When he kills someone? A parent in the 3rd row stood up. Jennifer Walsh, I taught her son 2 years ago. My husband's car was hit by Brandon last year, she said. Outside the liquor store, Brandon was backing out, obviously drunk. Police came, no breathalyzer. Our insurance had to cover everything. Another parent, Dave Morrison. Judge Walker's daughter cheated on her SATs. Everyone knows. Still got into Princeton. The Walker boy exposed himself at the pool last summer, an older woman added. 3 teenage girls complained. Nothing happened. More parents started talking, stories tumbling out. Years of the Walkers getting away with everything. Martinez grabbed the microphone. This meeting is about school business only. Mr. Thompson, you need to leave. Let him stay, someone shouted. He's telling the truth, another voice called out. A woman in the front row had her phone up. I'm live streaming this, she announced. People deserve to know. Martinez rushed toward her. You can't record without permission. It's a public meeting, she shot back. I watched the viewer count on her phone screen. 200, 400, 850. Then the stream cut out. What happened? Says the video violated terms of service. She looked confused. How is that even possible? It was live. Martinez had his phone to his ear, walking toward his office. 10 minutes later, 2 security guards entered. Mr. Thompson, you're trespassing. You need to leave. This is a public meeting. You're on administrative leave. School property is off limits. I gathered my papers. As I walked out, parents were still talking, sharing stories. Jennifer Walsh stopped me at the door. We're not done, she whispered. There's going to be another meeting. Unofficial. My house, Thursday night. Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. sharp. Superintendent's office. Dr. Reynolds sat behind his desk, my Facebook post printed out in front of him. Mark, you're making things difficult for everyone. I'm trying to get justice for my family. By spreading accusations on social media? By disrupting PTA meetings? Everything I said was true. He leaned back. Truth can still be defamation if it's presented maliciously. Maliciously? He almost killed my wife and daughter. The court will determine fault. Until then, you need to stop this campaign. Or what? Or your administrative leave becomes permanent termination. No references, no unemployment benefits, no continuation of health insurance. Health insurance. Harper needed at least 6 more weeks in the NICU. You're threatening me. I'm explaining consequences. Dr. Reynolds leaned forward. Your unpaid leave is now extended pending investigation. Investigation of what? Creating a hostile work environment. Hostile? I told the truth at a public meeting. You disrupted school operations. Parents are calling, demanding answers about the walkers. Teachers are uncomfortable. The board wants this resolved quietly. The board? You mean Judge Walker's golf buddies? Mark. His voice dropped. You have a sick child. Focus on that. Stop this crusade. I left his office knowing I'd never teach in this county again. Rachel's mother arrived that afternoon from Ohio. 68 years old, arthritis in both hands, but she came anyway. Had to. Rachel couldn't manage alone anymore. How long can you stay? Rachel asked. Long as you need me, honey. Thursday morning, Harper's oxygen alarm screaming. Her levels dropped to 72. Back to the hospital. Respiratory infection. The NICU doctor looked exhausted. She's premature. Her lungs are underdeveloped. Every infection is dangerous. How long this time? Few days. Maybe a week. Another $6,000 we didn't have. I sat in the waiting room, laptop open, posting everything for sale. My Harley. Bought it before Harper was born, thinking I'd teach her to ride someday. Listed for $4,500, sold for $35 to the first caller. Didn't even negotiate. Rachel's engagement ring, her grandmother's diamond, reset when we got married. $1,200 at the pawn shop. The guy counted out $1,200 bills like he was doing me a favor. Anything else? He asked. My wedding band. Tools from the garage. Rachel's laptop. Our TV. Everything that wasn't nailed down. Friday afternoon, email from Whitman and Associates. Motion for summary judgment. Legal speak for, prove your case now or lose automatically. 10 days to respond with evidence. Evidence I didn't have. I called the court clerk. How do I respond to a summary judgment motion? You need a lawyer, Mr. Thompson. I don't have a lawyer. Then you need to file an opposition brief with supporting evidence, properly formatted, within 10 days. I downloaded templates online, spent all night trying to understand legal formatting. Rule 56, material facts, genuine disputes. My eyes burned from staring at the screen. Saturday morning, Harper still on oxygen. Bills spread across the hospital room floor. $42,000 in medical debt. No job, no lawyer, no evidence. I had no evidence, no lawyer, no job, and my daughter couldn't breathe without machines. Sunday, text from Lisa Patterson, the parent from PTA. I heard what happened. I'm a paralegal. Can't be your lawyer, but I can help format documents. We met at the library. She brought a stack of legal books. Your response needs specific formatting, she said. Margins, fonts, citations. Judges throw out cases for wrong formatting. That's insane. That's law. Let's fix this. 4 hours. She rewrote my rambling response into proper legal language. Statement of facts, disputed issues, legal standards. You still need evidence, she said. Without it, you'll lose. I know. Monday, email from Tom Chen, old colleague from school. Saw this posting, online teaching company, starts immediately. Not much money, but it's something. I applied that night. Phone interview Tuesday, hired Wednesday. $400 a week teaching English to kids in China. Middle of the night shifts because of time zones. But it was money. Thursday. Rachel in the hospital room, holding Harper. Dark circles under her eyes. Maybe we should just give up, she said. Take whatever they offer. They're not offering anything. They want $15,000 from us. Then settle. Say it was my fault. Your fault. Whatever they want. No. Mark, look at her. Harper's tiny chest working so hard. She needs stability. We need to move on. They want us to give up. That's exactly what they want. Maybe they're right. No, we take a settlement, but only if it's public record. They'll never agree to that. Then we go to trial, with or without evidence. Friday morning, called Whitman and Associates. We're willing to discuss settlement, I said. Finally being reasonable, Mr. Thompson? Brandon's lawyer sounded smug. One condition, settlement becomes public record, not sealed. Long pause. That's not typical. Neither is your client hitting a pregnant woman while drunk. Alleged drunk, and that's defamation. Sue me. Oh wait, you already are. We'll discuss with our client. They called back that afternoon. Meeting Monday, our offices, 2 p.m. I hung up knowing this was it. Either they'd accept public disclosure or we'd go to trial with nothing. David versus Goliath, except David didn't even have a sling. Harper's monitor beeped, oxygen levels dropping again. The nurse adjusted her tubes while Rachel cried silently. $400 a week from online teaching, $6,000 in new hospital bills, a settlement meeting in 3 days, and Brandon Walker was probably at another party, another drink, waiting for his next victim. Monday, 2 p.m. Whitman and Associates. Glass building, marble lobby, elevator that cost more than my car. Brandon's lawyer, Richard Whitman himself, sat across a conference table that could seat 20. Brandon wasn't there. Of course not. Let's make this simple, Whitman said. Drop everything. Each party pays their own costs. Everyone moves on. No. No? I want $18,000 for medical bills. Whitman laughed. Actually laughed. That's not happening. Your client was drunk. Hit my pregnant wife. My daughter's in the NICU. Alleged drunk. No evidence. Police report says you're at fault. The police report is bullshit and you know it. What I know is you have no case, no witnesses, no lawyer. We're offering you a clean exit. $18,000 or we go to trial. You'll lose. Maybe. But it'll be public. Local news might pick it up. Brandon Walker, judge's nephew, third accident. That's a story. Whitman's jaw tightened. He made a call. Hushed conversation. Hung up. 10,000. Final offer. 18. You're not in a position to negotiate. Neither are you. How's Brandon's Princeton application looking? Think they care about pending vehicular assault cases? 2 hours of this. Back and forth. Phone calls to Brandon. To Judge Walker, probably. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Kept thinking about Harper's oxygen levels. The bills. Rachel crying in the hospital bathroom. 15,000, Whitman said. But you sign an NDA. No social media. No talking to press. 18,000. No NDA. Settlement becomes public record. That's unusual. So is hitting a pregnant woman and walking away. Another phone call. Whitman's face was stone. 18,000. No admission of fault. You drop all claims. No social media posts about the settlement itself. But he paused like the words hurt. Settlement stays public record, not sealed. My mouth was dry. When? Insurance cuts the check within 45 days. 45 days. Harper needed care now. 30 days. Standard is 45. Your client isn't standard. Whitman slid papers across the table. 7 pages of legal language. I read every word. No admission of wrongdoing, no further claims, no social media about the settlement amount or terms. But the fact that a settlement existed would be public. I signed, hands shaking so bad my signature looked like someone else's. Whitman gathered the papers. You know you could have gotten more with a real lawyer. I couldn't afford a real lawyer. That's not my problem. Walking out, I heard him on the phone. It's done. 18, public record, but he can't talk about it. 45 days later, check arrived, $18,000. I deposited it that morning. By afternoon, it was almost gone. Immediate medical bills first. The NICU wanted $14,000, had been calling twice a day, threatening collections, paid in full, gone. Credit cards, minimums only, $2,000 to stop the calls, to keep them from canceling the cards we needed for gas, food, Harper's medicines, $2,000 left, except we still owed $11,000 to the NICU for the second stay, $3,500 to specialists. 4 different doctors, all wanting payment plans. The billing lady at the hospital was kind at least. We can do $350 a month for 3 years. 3 years. Harper would be in preschool. Still paying for being born too early because Brandon Walker couldn't stay sober. Lost income from teaching. $15,000 gone forever. Would have been more, but the online teaching helped. $400 a week. Enough for groceries and gas. Nothing else. Rachel went back to work 2 days a week. Just 4-hour shifts. Her mom watched Harper. I can do this, she said, that first morning, hands trembling as she put on her scrubs. She made it 3 hours. Called me from the parking lot, hyperventilating. I can't stop seeing the accident every time I close my eyes. Come home. We need the money. We'll figure it out. She went back the next shift, made it through. Came home and threw up. But she went back again, and again. The $18,000 was gone in a week. But the bills kept coming. Harper's oxygen rental, specialist copays, therapy for her lungs, speech therapy because premature babies often have delays, $350 a month to the hospital, $100 to the lung doctor, $75 to the pediatric therapist, plus rent, utilities, food. I taught English to kids in Beijing at 3 a.m. Rachel worked her 2 shifts fighting panic attacks in the parking lot. Her mom cooked, cleaned, held Harper when she cried. We survived, that's all. Just survived. Brandon's insurance company sent a form letter. Claim resolved, like it was a fender bender, like Harper wasn't still struggling to breathe, like Rachel didn't wake up screaming twice a week. But the settlement was public record. Anyone could look it up. Case number 2024, CV0847, Thompson versus Walker. Settled, small victory, microscopic. But it existed. Proof that something happened. That Brandon Walker hit us and had to pay. Not enough, not even close. But it was something. 6 months later. Different town, smaller apartment, 1 bedroom instead of 3. Harper's crib next to our bed where we can hear her breathe at night. She's off oxygen now. Finally. But monthly specialist visits to check her lungs. Doctor says she'll probably have asthma. Maybe always. Another gift from being born at 32 weeks. I teach online full-time now. 60% of what I made as a real teacher. 3 a.m. classes for kids in Shanghai. 5 a.m. for Seoul. No benefits, no sick days. But it's work. Tuesday morning. Scrolling Facebook between classes. Sarah Kim tagged me in something. Brandon Walker, ticketed for reckless driving near his college. The post had 12 comments. That's the judge's nephew. 3rd time this year. Daddy will fix it. The fine, $250. No license suspension. No court date. Just a fine. I closed Facebook. Sarah messaged me that afternoon. My article about court reform got picked up by the state paper. Didn't mention your case specifically, but referenced patterns in small-town judicial systems. That's good. It's something. Thursday. Harper's therapy session, speech and motor skills. Premature babies often have delays. She's been working on sounds for weeks. The therapist held up a picture. Who's this, Harper? Harper looked at me. Opened her mouth. Dada. First word, 15 months old, 3 months behind schedule. But she said it. Dada, she said again, reaching for me. Rachel cried. Good tears this time. That night, Rachel showed me her phone, an online support group for trauma survivors, 300 members, all from car accidents. Is it helping? Sometimes. Knowing other people understand, we still pay $350 a month to the hospital, will for 2 more years, plus $75 to the lung specialist, $50 to the therapist. The bills come like clockwork, automatic withdrawal every first of the month. Our reminder of what Brandon Walker cost us. I write in my journal sometimes, when I can't sleep, when the anger bubbles up. We didn't win, we survived. Justice isn't always about victory. Sometimes it's about documentation. Brandon will hurt someone else, but now there's a paper trail, case number 2024, CV0847, proof he did this before. My daughter will grow up knowing we didn't run, we stood up, we lost, but we stood up. That has to be enough, because it's all we have. Harper sleeps between us now. We listen to her breathe, still raspy sometimes, but breathing. Rachel's hand finds mine in the dark. We made it through. Yeah, he's going to do it again. Hurt someone else. I know. Maybe next time they'll stop him. Maybe. Harper stirs, says Dada in her sleep. We survived. The Walkers won, but we survived. Sometimes that's all you get.